believes I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Hello. Hey, I've been noticing a lot of people, especially the last couple of days, the last week, there have been a lot of people tuning in and listening. Thank you so much. I am really, like I said, when I first started this, I just it was sort of like a personal diary, basically. Since I was up, I may as well be doing something productive, and wanted to just sort of reach out to anybody else who may be thinking the same things I'm thinking and see if they could relate. But I don't like attention. I really need to have my YouTube video. I need to have my podcast where I have like an actual little studio thing and post it up on YouTube. I should do that. But when I started this, I said that I wasn't going to do that because it just gives me a lot of anxiety and it makes me feel weird. And it's different for some reason for me to do like a clapper video or, a TikTok or an Instagram video or posting something on YouTube that's like a quick little short video. To me, that's different. Posting my podcast, recording myself doing my podcast, like recording myself do the whole podcast. I don't know. It just freaks me out for some reason, but I should probably do that. So I don't know how people are finding out about my podcast, but I'm so glad they are because I've got people from Singapore, from Germany, from Norway, from Russia, from all over, and, from Hong Kong. And it's just been so amazing. I don't know how you guys are finding out about me, but I'm so glad that you are. I would love to hear from you. Ramblings of an Insomniac 49 at Gmail. I would love to hear how you heard. I know it shows on my Buzzsprout account, it shows kind of like where people are downloading, like if it's from Spotify or iHeartRadio or Pandora or whatever, or if it's from the Buzzsprout site, but I don't know how people are hearing about me. But thank you. I'm so glad that there are more and more people checking out my podcast. It's definitely not for everybody because I genuinely do just kind of babble, and I'm by no means some genius. I'm not, I don't know all there is to know about politics and science and sports and life and all of that. I just literally talk about my feelings and what my thoughts are, my opinions on stuff. And it could be politics. It could be health. It could be animals. It could be work, a million different things. But anyway, thank you. I'm genuinely grateful that there are people that are liking my podcast and that tune in. So thank you so much. So on that note, what has been keeping me up? Well, let me see. I don't know if it'll let me pull it up while I'm recording, but I came across this CNN article about how the Bidens, are just so upset and they feel it's so tragic, and they are so saddened by the fact that their son, their only living son, their last living son, has not only been put through these trials and tribulations of being accused and now convicted of these charges, but he has to do so in public, in front of the world, and as the president's son, and how horrible and tragic that is for both Hunter and Mr. and Mrs. Biden, President Biden, because after all, he's the president. And this is, he has to watch his son be put through all of this. And it's like, you know what? Fuck you. Were you thinking that same thing when you guys ripped on Barron when Barron was like 10 years old? He was a minor child. And Democrats didn't seem to give a crap at all about how he must feel when people were attacking him. And he didn't do anything. He wasn't convicted of anything. He wasn't accused of anything. He didn't do anything. He was 10 and 12 and 14 and 16 years old. And now he's 18 years old. And people will not back off Trump's son or any of his children. They pick on all of his children. They delve deep, deep, deep into the lives of Trump's children. And they have done nothing but spout off threats, death threats, called them every name in the book, including, again, Barron, who is a child. Yet somehow and they started doing it when he was the president, when Trump was the president. So it was the president's son for all the world to see, Poor Barron was out dealing with hate and people threatening his life and calling him all kinds of names as a child that did nothing. He was an innocent child. But now Hunter, who is a grown-ass adult, a full-grown-ass adult who actually did commit the crimes that he is accused and now convicted of. He actually committed not only smoking crack and playing with guns, but he's committed many more crimes. And somehow we're supposed to feel bad for a grown-ass adult who has admitted and had on video that he has smoked crack. And we're supposed to feel bad for Biden because this is his only surviving son. And the tragedy of him having to watch his only surviving son be put through all of this. Put through all of what? He runs amok around the White House, smoking crack and snorting coke and leaving coke around and sleeping with whores. And he completely videotapes every bit of his life. And we're supposed to feel bad? We're supposed to feel bad because you lost a son. So now the surviving son that you do have, who's a big fuck up, we're supposed to feel bad that he got convicted, rightfully so. No, who we feel bad for, the polls and stats have shown, is Trump and Trump's family, because he got convicted of something that he didn't do, and they got that conviction illegally. And it will get overturned, it will get appealed, and that's good. But the fact that he and his family have had to endure 8 years of bullshit, 8 years of death threats, 8 years of being called every horrific name in the book casually, as if being called a Nazi, being compared to Hitler, seriously, over and over and over and over and over by every freaking person, being called a Hitler and a bigot and racist and threatening his life. And you're supposed to just overlook every single comment, delving into the lives of he and his family, up every single aspect, in and out of every aspect of his life for no reason other than they don't like him because America does, and because Putin does, and because Kim Jong-un does. And we're supposed to hate him because he loves our country, because he wants what's best for America, because he sticks up for his beliefs, because he doesn't back down and he's not a coward. Because back in the day, he used to be a playboy and used to sometimes say derogatory things to women. Look at Biden. Look at Clinton. Look at a lot of people. None of it's right. It's not right for Trump. It's not right for anybody to be disgusting toward women. But that was a long time ago. He's moved on now. People change. People change. I think people forget this, that what we have done when we were kids, could you imagine if that got thrown in our faces now? We were all stupid, dumb shits when we were young. That's what you do when you're young. You act like a stupid idiot. You make poor choices. That's kind of par for the course. And as long as you don't kill anybody, as long as you don't hurt anybody, it's called, growing up. I'm not saying it's okay to drink and drive. Like I said, I don't think you should put your life or others' lives at risk. But why are we so eager to dredge up people's past and find those skeletons? Oh, we got to find some juicy gossip. We got to dig up. We got to dig and dig so we can find the bad. So we can focus on the bad. We could focus on the juicy gossip so we can make someone else's life miserable. Someone could have been maybe a shitty person in their past, And maybe they have more than made up for it. Maybe they realize that they weren't the best human and now they want more than anything to move on and be a better human. Maybe they're genuinely trying, which is more than I can say for a lot of people. A lot of people are a shit human and don't give a shit, and they continue to be a crappy human. They don't even try to be a better person. And yet we're going to go out of our way to find gossip and find things about a human. And then we're going to, in the age of internet, plaster it all over social media so that everybody can see it. And then we're not going to listen to the other person's side of the story. Oh, no. Because nowadays we're about one side and one side only. We're not about justice and listening to, everybody having their say. No, no, no. We're about accusing people and having no evidence, or accusing people but not asking anybody, hey, what happened with that? Hey, what did you mean by, when you said this or that? Or, hey, when you did this 20 years ago, what was going on? No, no, no. We don't want to hear that. No. And we want to edit things. We want to edit things to make things look as horrible and terrible as possible. Why? Or we want to edit things and we want to put filters on things so that we can look as beautiful as possible when we're not. It's like the rose-colored glasses thing. It's like, I'm an ugly person and this isn't really my life. So I'm going to crop and I'm going to edit and I'm going to filter to make things look a lot better than they are. Or I'm going to crop and edit and filter to make things look a lot worse. Why can't we? That's why I did my podcast the way I did. I want you to hear my dogs in the background and my phone ringing and the UPS driver, because that's called life. That's called actual reality. This is my actual reality. And sometimes my dogs bark, and sometimes you can hear coyotes, and sometimes you hear the Amazon driver, and sometimes my phone rings in the middle of it. That's just my life. I want it unedited. I'm not going to say that I've never, ever put a filter on a picture or a filter on me. I'm not going to say I don't put on makeup to look better. Of course, we all want to look more attractive sometimes. That's okay. Having some dignity in yourself, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, brushing your hair. Those are good things. Hygiene's good. And if we want to look a little glamorous sometimes, we want to make things look a little better sometimes than they are, that's okay. But we don't need to dig up and go out of our way to make things look a lot better than they are or a lot worse than they are, or try to dig up stuff that someone has moved past. No one ever thinks about the fact that that might really cause a lot of PTSD and scars for the person that you're digging up their past, that they've done everything they can to move on and try to be better, and they don't need it brought up and thrown in their face again, especially for the entire world to have a say in. Why don't we focus on ourselves? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I slow down sometimes on car accidents. I slow down sometimes to look in someone's window and see what they're doing. I want to know. I'm curious. I'm not judging. I'm just curious. It's just frustrating, the double standards, We could all spend a little more time looking for the good, that's for sure, myself included. Definitely myself included. The days go by a lot better. And I've noticed that when I'm positive, other people follow suit. And I want to be a good role model for my grandkids and for my sons. I don't want to die and have them think of me as being a negative person. That's not the label that I want. I don't want my friends and family to be like, Courtney, man, what a downer. I mean, if that's how people want to go, as someone that's a complete busybody or a know-it-all or righteous, entitled, selfish, hateful, okay, that's your choice. Put that on your gravestone. Tombstone? Tombstone. Gravesite? You know what I'm saying. That's not how I want to be remembered, that's for sure. I definitely have the moments where I'm negative. I'm working on it, though. Again, At least I'm working on it. I'm not going to be there every day. I'm not going to rise to the level I should every day, but dang it, I'm going to try. At least I'm trying. Ugh, I don't know. So anyway, I'm out here with my dogs as per the usual, chilling out with them. Oh man, I don't know if this has been paused like the entire time, because that's really going to be a big bummer if I've been sitting here blabbing on and saying some good, important stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just been paused this whole time. That's not going to go over well. I really hope that this whole time, and I don't know where it stopped. Man, this is what I get for not doing it in my little studio with my program. More and more evidence is showing that I should be doing it in my studio, but I like being outside. I just can't. Like I said, I cannot sit in my room knowing that people might be around hearing me, listening. I can't do it. And I have to walk around. I can't sit still. So I don't know. I'll get the kinks worked out. I will. I had an iPhone last time and I had this perfect recording set up on there and it was easy to download and it was great and I loved it. And now I can't find it. I don't think they have it for Android. And now it's been a work in progress. And like I said, I hope to God that all the talking I did before, because somehow it went out of this screen. So I don't know if it was paused the whole time I was talking. I mean, what if I was saying some really amazing stuff and you guys were like, yeah, preach it. Just kidding. Just kidding. We all know I never say really amazing stuff. But anyway, that's been on my mind. That's something keeping me awake, is this whole that we're supposed to feel bad for Hunter and we're supposed to feel bad for Biden because his last and only surviving son has been publicly humiliated and on trial for all the world to see. It's ridiculous. But they don't care at all about Barron having to go through being called names and death threats and people going through his entire life and trying to find things to put him down. They even went through how he dressed. They even went off on how Barron dressed. Because, you can't go off that he's a mean kid or a dumb kid. You can't say that he doesn't have manners. So, since he actually has manners and he's actually intelligent and a good kid, you have to find the most petty thing in the whole world and then pick on how he dresses. Really? You're that kind of bully? You're a bully? You're going to pick on a child? Again, he was a child. Just turned 18. He was a kid. And they had no problem picking on an innocent kid that did nothing wrong whatsoever. But we're supposed to feel bad for a grown-ass adult who did commit these crimes. And we're supposed to feel bad for Biden? Come on, son. Come on. Ridiculous. So that's keeping me up. And like I said, just how we would feel if every aspect of our life was just put on blast and we had to have people just digging into our lives and constantly trying to find the bad. I mean, come on. We need to learn grace. Sometimes, like I've said 100 times, sometimes if someone accidentally bumps into you bumps into you and bumps their cart into you and you accidentally bump into them and they get grumpy with you and they snap at you, maybe they're just having a bad shit day and they're just trying their hardest to not kill themselves. And so they snapped at you, but they're still trying really hard to be a good person. They just had a bad day. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have been like, God, bitch, sometimes when people have done that too. And I'm like, who the hell am I? Why am I saying that? I've been on the receiving end where someone has bumped into me and I've been cranky and I didn't mean it. I was just cranky because I've had a very bad day. And unfortunately, someone bumping into me just kind of set me off. So it happens, but we need to have grace, compassion. It's hard. It's very, very hard. Sometimes we have days that are harder than others, but gotta try. Gotta get up and try, like Pink says, right? You're welcome for the singing. I sound just like Pink, right? Anyway, hey, this is just a quick little note to say, I think we all need to remember that whatever someone's past is, sometimes they deserve a second chance, because none of us are perfect. Some people actually change, and some people really, truly, genuinely want to change and have tried, and they don't need their past dug up because their past is just that, their past. So I think we all need to try to remember grace, give people the benefit of the doubt, and try to worry about ourselves, right? I feel like a PBS commercial, like you guys don't know this. I'm not trying to be condescending. Y'all know this. We all know this is nothing new. I'm not saying anything remotely wise. Just like to remind myself, again, this is a journal for me. It's to hold myself accountable, things that I need to remember about myself. And if you feel like you could maybe give a little grace, then hey, the more people that have that thought, the better, right? Anyway, hey, shout out to everybody again for listening. I appreciate it. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you are safe and well, and I hope you're having a good day. And thank you again. Until next time.